Welcome, guys. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. This is The Young Athletic. I am with the all-star team of the C license. Can we go around and introduce ourselves?
Sure. My name is Roger Denman. I'm a soccer coach in Phoenix, Arizona.
My name is Julian Garcia. I am from Argentina, and I am a soccer coach and a video analyst for the Oakland Roots.
Hey, I'm Jacob Raymer. I'm a coach from Los Angeles, California.
Los Angeles. All right, awesome. So the first thing I like to ask is, what got you into coaching? What do you love about coaching? Those kinds of things. What are your highlights with coaching? Why don't you start, Roger?
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll start. So I played soccer all growing up, and I coached a little bit with my little brother's team when I was a kid. And about 10 years ago, I was looking for some things to do with my life. I had some extra time, and my wife had suggested coaching. I was like, oh, because I was playing at the time, I was like, I don't think I could do that. But I was looking to volunteer my time somewhere, and she's like, try it out, and I've loved it. It's like been my life ever since. So,
I have played soccer my whole life in Argentina, growing up. And when I figured that I couldn't play anymore, I decided to start coaching, and then I realized that I loved it, and now I want to be the best coach in the world, basically.
And you were a pro soccer player in Argentina.
Yeah, I had a very short career as a professional soccer player. I played third division in Argentina for a few years, and then I stopped playing because I wasn't in a healthy mental position, and I didn't have the tools, and I didn't realize I didn't get the help that I needed in that moment because I didn't know that I needed help. But
so you became a coach. You decided to switch gears and coach instead.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've been happy with that decision?
Yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think similar to Roger and Julian. I've been playing soccer pretty much my entire life, and my goal was always to go professional. Had a couple stints with the Galaxy Academy. It didn't really work out, and was originally going to go out and play for a university out in England, but then COVID hit during my high school senior year, and I couldn't get a work or a student visa, which was a bummer, but it allowed me to dive into coaching firsthand, coaching my high school team that year, which was kind of the gateway for me. And when I ended up going out to a different college in Boston and playing out there, I kind of just realized coaching for me was more rewarding than playing. And realistically, playing Division III soccer wasn't going to get me to the level I wanted to. So I decided to pull out of that after my first season and go into full-time coaching.
So you talk about the rewards of coaching. I think we've all felt that in our time coaching. Can you explain a little bit more about the rewards of being out in the field with the kids and what that gives to you? Anybody, or you can keep going.
Yeah, no, I can take that. Yeah, I think for me, this game has helped me so much. I've had my fair share of mental struggles, and this game has been it's always been a constant for me. It's always been a place of happiness and release. So seeing other people get that same sort of joy from it makes me happy, and being able to facilitate it within like a group of young individuals and see them come together and make friendships and learn life skills through the sport. It makes me happy in a way I can't even describe.
Me as well. Kind of similar. Like, I had some coaches growing up that did not make me happy to play soccer, and I ended up quitting when I was about 16, and I really wish I had kept playing. And I just never want to be that coach that's going to be like, the kid's like, I don't want to play for that guy. So I always tell my boys, I usually coach boys, that if it's ever getting anywhere near the level that you guys are thinking about quitting, just please come talk to me, and I have an open door policy, and I just want to make sure that I inspire them and that I help, in my own way, using soccer, which we all love, to, help them grow and turn into, great adults. I think that's awesome. So.
Yeah, I think that's something you have to be careful is not burning the kids out Because I felt that in college after years and years of playing. It's like, oh, I just need to take a break, and I did. So, what about you? How's coaching blessed you?
First of all, I had very bad coaches when I grew up. Very bad coaches. They didn't create a safe environment to be in and to feel comfortable making mistakes. So my priority right now is to create that environment for my kids, and also to coach with love, to show them that I care about them more as a soccer players, as a human beings, and also help them to be first a good person, a good teammate, a good son, a good friend, and then a good soccer player. For me, that's first things. And I think the way that they are taking that thought that I am, or whatever
The ideas?
The ideas, yeah. Sorry, my English is still developing. I think I can see the results. And what is that result? More love from them to me. And they show me that love, and the environment now is super positive, and I think that is what helped them to take their level to the next page, basically.
Do you see the benefits of coaching with that love versus coaching with that intimidation and with that fear with your players?
For sure. And I learned through mistakes, honestly. My first year coaching here in the United States, I made a bunch of mistakes. No by being tough, but maybe I didn't create the right environment for them, and allowed maybe things that shouldn't be allowed. But I think that's the way to do it, making mistakes, doing like self-reflections, and taking care of those mistakes, and improving and become better for the next season, for the next week, for the next day. That's what I think I am doing good as a coach right now, being humble and learning through mistakes.
I have to interject because Julian set a record last night for the highest grade ever received from a coach. We are in the middle of a coaching course, and Julian led his exercises last night, and he got a 9 out of 10. 2 claps. As our instructor would say. So there's definitely a lot of validity to Julian's ideas, and you could see it. The kids responded last night. I don't know if you guys want to comment on what that was like, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah, he had them engaged from the beginning. It was pretty impressive to watch, for sure. I'm going to think about some more details for a second, but do you want to go?
Yeah, I think for me, what was the most impressive was, like you said, the connection he made early on. I saw you took them first before they were even like still getting their boots on and stuff, and you were getting their names, you were introducing yourself to them, which I think automatically put you in a good spot with them, where they're like, oh, this coach is very approachable, very likable. And that way, when the exercise started, they wanted to please you. They wanted to do your drill right. They wanted to have that good back and forth with you.
How did you? I'm going to ask one more question. How did you feel out there with those kids?
Honestly, I felt super comfortable and super happy when I am doing it, and I enjoy it a lot. I was nervous before, for sure, but then we are in a beautiful place right now. We are in Ohio, surrounded by mountains. We are lucky to be here, and I feel like that. So that was my thought when I stepped on the field. I was like, I will enjoy this. Like, I am lucky to be here. And I try to transmit that to the kids right away. Hey, look where we are. Is that not beautiful? Beautiful place, beautiful way to play soccer. So that was the first thing that I did when I saw the kids coming, say hi to them, and start creating that environment where I show them that I am a human being and I will make mistakes, and it's completely fine for them to make mistakes as well. So that's the environment that I want to create for my sessions in general.
Yeah, if you guys want to ask any questions to each other or...
I had one that just came up. What was the, you were going to play in England University? Which one was it?
Yeah, so I was going to go to Liverpool John Moores University. I was going to actually study sports coaching out there. I was going to graduate in 3 years with a UEFA B license, and it was run through a program called Everton Football College. So it's not the academy, not even close, but it is somewhat affiliated. Same kind of coaches. We get to practice at their training facility at Finch Farm. And how it worked out there is there's like 7 or 8 teams, like it's all kind of levels. But they had an international team, which was their 3rd team, basically out of the 8. So the goal was, to start there my first year, and hopefully climb up the ranks and see how far I was going to be able to take it.
That's cool. I have a boy that just graduated that's going to play at Riasa out there, a university out there. It's like a international university, so it's a program I didn't know about. So, but he's pretty excited. He's leaving next month for that. So I thought that was send a kid to England. It's the first time I've done that.
That's really
but
cool.
Yeah. So tell me what happened that didn't kind of work out for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of just as simple as COVID had hit and I was struggling to get a student visa, and the deadline was approaching, and they still wanted me to put my tuition deposit down, even though I was probably going to get at most half a year, like actually in person there. And it was a really hard decision to make, but my family and I kind of decided that, financially and just emotionally, I wasn't ready to put that kind of money down for that kind of experience yet. So decided to withdraw. And at that point, I kind of was under it was known to me that if I withdraw, it was going to be very hard for me to get that opportunity to play there again. So I started looking elsewhere, looking more national in the States for opportunities.
So what did you do instead?
I took a gap year and I coached at my high school. Looking back at it now, I could barely call it coaching. I knew nothing about it. I was 18 at the time. And I was just applying to schools again, and I was trying to get recruited. And I was lucky enough to get recruited to a Division III school out in Boston and play there for a year.
How do you think that worked out for you?
I was lucky. I mean, I'm 5'7". I'm very short for a goalkeeper. And that was something I continuously had troubles with growing up with the Galaxy Academy. My team went to England. We played the Crystal Palace Academy. And I remember asking the coach there what I could do to get to that level. And it was just a lot of similar things where it's like, you're good, but your size is not going to help you. And it was a beatdown. It was a very hard reality to face. And I was trying my best for years to push through it. And I think at a certain point, I kind of burned out in that sense.
So Jay, did you do any research to see if other goalkeepers with that size make it to professional?
Oh yeah, I looked up to Jorge Campos, was a Los Angeles Galaxy goalkeeper who was my height, and he was phenomenal. Played for the Mexican national team. He was my hero growing up, and I knew it was possible. There've been many examples, but.
And you can play too. I saw you playing yesterday, and you have a great touch. Yeah, and in today's soccer, that's so important, very, very important.
Well, I appreciate it, and I mean, I guess now I'm still at the age where I could play, but I think at this point now I'm so happy coaching and so happy with the path I'm on that unless a crazy opportunity was presented to me, it's not something I think I'm going to pursue anymore.
One of the goalkeepers yesterday was pretty short,
yeah.
I think.
And he was great.
And he was picking corners really well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess I don't know, it seems like there's a new way the goalkeepers are diving now where they can get more out of their spread from the ground. Can you describe that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good striker coaches will tell their strikers, don't shoot at the top corners, shoot at the bottom corners, because a lot of tall goalkeepers, it's much easier to reach up than it is to push themselves low. So I think as a way to sort of counteract that, goalkeepers are now learning how to explode low. And I think when you're on the smaller side, it's much easier to get down to the ground faster. Of course, there's the downside with crosses and corners and shots that are up high. But in my opinion, and I think I have a little bit of bias to it, it's a lot easier to jump up than it is to push yourself down. So that's somewhere where I felt I always had an advantage almost. But again, the college side of the game is way different, super physical, relies on size. So I get it at the same time.
Let's talk about positions. We just went over all of goalie positions. What about like what position you played and how you liked it and what you learned from it?
I could start. So I've always been like a 7 or 11 and in my life.
Let's explain for those who don't know soccer. Yeah. What is a 7 or an 11?
Usually it's an outside forward. So in a 4-3-3 where there's four defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 forwards, it's one of the 2 outside forwards, either the right or the left. And I like to play on the left side, because I'm predominantly right-footed, so I can come in, cut in, and then strike. But now as I'm getting older, it's kind of funny because I didn't feel like I could play in the center of the park, like a central midfielder position, because I didn't think I had the vision to do so. But ironically, now that I have less vision as an older player, I like to play in the center more. I think as you get older, guys, you guys are all a lot younger than me. It seems like you get a little more settled in life and like not so antsy. At least for me, like when I played when I was younger, I was pretty antsy. I was like, okay, I got to get the ball, I got to move it, and I got to move on. But I just feel more settled now. So when I play on my adult teams, I play like the 10 position, which is the center attacking mid or just behind the forwards.
Where I wanted to play was in the center mid, like as a 6. I really wanted to play there, and I played for a long time there. But since I was 15, every single coach that I have asked me, what position do you play? Center mid. They saw me playing amongst center mid. No, you're not a center mid. You're a center back.
Oh, no.
And I didn't enjoy that a lot because a center mid, as you guys know, have the ball more participation and attacks more. And that's what I wanted to do. But in some point, I was like, okay, I got to be realistic. As a center mid, I am an average play. I am not going to make it. As a center back, I may have the technique to be like above the average player. So that is how I became a center back. And I play there now. Basically, is a number 4 or 5, right? The numbers are different here than in Argentina. In Argentina, it's number 2, center back, number 2 for sure. But here is 4 or 5, and that's like the first defender, and is the one have the whole vision of the field. Just to explain to those that don't understand the game very well.
I was gonna say every time you go up a level, you sort of go back a position, like Iniesta, who played for Barcelona, I'm sure we all know. He was a forward for a long time, and then he went back to midfielder, obviously, and he became one of the greatest midfielders ever. But sometimes, coaches put you where you don't think you should play, and, you have to deal with it. Go ahead.
And I have another example, like Javier Mascherano, where he used to play as a center mid, and he was like my idol. I wanted to play like that guy. And then when he went to Barcelona, he started playing as a center back. So I was like, okay, if Mascherano is playing as a center back, I can play as a center back.
Yeah. So. And then we all saw Julian's brilliance today with the nutmeg on a former Man City player who was here at the course with us, shall not be named. But I think we all were impressed. And
that was impressive, man. You got some speed.
Yeah.
You play well out of the back.
I wasn't expecting you to be just so quick, but professional soccer player.
Let's tell the people that was 5 minutes of playing. I played for 5 minutes, like exactly 5 minutes. I didn't play more. But yeah, I really enjoy playing. I cannot play right now high level or 100% because I have both of my knees injured. Yesterday morning we had like the coach is playing during the morning, and I didn't want to play. But today I couldn't hold myself. I was
Yeah.
like, it is a beautiful day.
You just get pulled onto the
yeah,
field.
exactly. I was like, 5 minutes. I can play 5 minutes.
So earlier in the session today, I didn't know. I mean, you had mentioned your knee, but I didn't know it was as bad as it was. And I was just like, hey, we need an extra player for the activity on the side. And he was standing there. I'm like, can you go play? And he's like, no, I'm not playing. I'm like, okay. Can you maybe just?
This was today?
This is today.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And then I think I asked him another time, and he's like, well, I can go coach that activity. And then I went in and played. And then like towards the end, like the last 10 minutes, he's like, hey, coach, can I come in and play?
I mean, if you asked me one more time, I would have played. But then you made the decision. Yeah, you gave up too early. Otherwise, I would have stepped up.
Can you explain what you do now? What you're working on now? What club you work for and everything?
I was for a small club from the Bay Area, Marine, which is in very close to San Francisco. It's like 30 minutes away in California. I work with U14 boys and U13 boys. I have 3 teams. My U13 has an A and a B, and my U14 is just a single team. I do that, and I also work as a video analyst for a team that play the USL Championship, which is like second division here. So I am doing all the game analysis for them as a part-time job. Both of my jobs are part-time. That's the way I make a full-time.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all, trying to...
Same page.
Yeah. Coaching soccer is a part-time job, part-time pay with full-time effort and work.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that I am working a lot. I am learning a lot too. I really enjoy both of my work. They are different for sure.
Totally different.
Yeah, totally different. Of course, soccer related, but I feel that I can... A lot of things that I learn from the analysis, I can do it with my kids. And that's the idea, be like growing all the time and try to be better for them, basically.
You want to talk about what we're currently doing? Roger, do you want to talk about your current coaching experience?
Yeah, so I am coaching at a high school in Goodyear, Arizona, which is about 15 miles west of Phoenix, Arizona. The high school is Estrella Foothills High School, the boys soccer program. I was the JV coach for 4 years and started with running the program, the varsity team last year. I did a couple clubs locally in the Valley. We call that area the Valley. And had some injuries with my feet that I'm getting worked on, so I'm just kind of taking a break from club soccer right now. So, but the high school season, it's only like 3 months long, but I pretty much train them all year long. So,
how is the high school team? How are they doing?
I think they're getting progressively better, and like hopefully I'm a part of that. I just appreciate being a part of these kids' lives and like getting to see them grow. From kids to young men, and most of them turn out pretty well. So I'd say, I think pretty successful. We made the playoffs last year, for the state playoffs for the first time in 8 years. So in my first year as varsity coach, so that was pretty exciting. Yeah, it was pretty exciting. It's all them though. So
yeah. Coach is nothing without his players.
Yeah.
I have 10 and 12-year-olds, and the 12-year-olds are about to hit puberty, so I don't want to see them grow up and lose their voice, or drop their voice, and I want to keep them in this moment, but
freeze them in time.
But you see the kids grow up and develop and become into men. How's that like?
It's interesting seeing them. Some of them are pretty small when they come in, and then you're looking up at them at the end of after the 4 years. It's nice because for the most part, it's just something that's really validating. You can see the growth in them as people is pretty exciting. And then it's always like teachers say, like when they get it, it's like that thing that makes you feel like this is the reason why I do coaching.
Like when it clicks.
When it clicks for them. Yeah. And then, and I'm learning from them too. It's like, you guys know this as coaches, like we're out here to learn, to get better for them. So the constant feedback, learning back and forth is great. So.
Do you want to share any moments, any highlights from your team with the boys, or even with your analysis?
I would like to mention the name of my club, so if they listen to this, they don't feel bad. I work for a club that is called Ross Valley Breakers,
Okay.
which is in Fairfax, Marine, and I have 3 great group of kids. I love them. I have been working with 2 of these 3 groups for 3 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I got them when they were U11, U10, U12, U11, U13, and seeing them growing is amazing. Honestly, it's so good, priceless. And I really enjoy. I miss them. I haven't seen them for a couple months, and I want to see the kids. Like I want to see them.
I'm excited to coach them better, after this. Try
Exactly.
something.
Yeah. A lot of expectations for this season that is going to start in August for me. We are going to have a month to get ready for the actually competition. So I am excited. I want to start working with them, teach them new things that I know now, and using all the tools that we are getting from the licenses to make them better.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have parties outside of practice? Do you guys do fun things like that?
We have once at the year, by the end of the year, we get together and celebrate the season basically, with parents, with the kids. They give me letters and thank you.
Gifts.
Yeah. And I also, and my birthday is around that moment too. So always in the day of my birthday, or we have practice or we have a game, so parents show up with a cake. It's very, very, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always trying to get my kids and my teams to go to the Galaxy games or the LAFC games, but usually it's in the summertime and kids are always busy. They're always doing other things.
So actually last year I was working also for the Oakland Roots, but I was doing something completely different. I was working with soccer operations, which is basically you work the day of the game. You go there, set up the locker rooms for the teams, for the referees, and then during the game, I was taking care of the ball retrievers, ball boys or ball girls, and I had the chance to take my kids to a bunch of games to be ball boys in this case, so they also enjoyed a lot that experience, being part of, because when you're a ball boy, you're part of the game. You gotta keep the flow of the game. If you are distracted, the team is going to waste time.
If you want to waste time for your team.
Exactly. Yeah, a little of game management.
Yeah.
You can do it too. So I think that was a great experience for them, being on the field in a professional game. I think they can take a lot from that.
Yeah. Do you want to share a little bit about your coaching experience in your teams right now?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of experience to share right now. I'm still very new into it. I joined the club that I'm at now, LA Bulls, in October, and this is my first ever experience coaching club. So I have 2 teams. I have a boys 2011 and a boys 2016. That being said, my 2016 team has 3 girls on the roster currently, just because we don't have enough girls for the girls 2016 team, and the girls on my team are ballers. But it's interesting because both of these teams didn't exist at the club until I came in. Both of them came straight from AYSO. So it's been sort of a really cool experience getting to build my first ever club teams, from scratch. But it's also been stressful because there's a lot that I didn't know on the administrative side. And it was definitely a good experience and a learning experience, but stressful at times.
Let's say that Jacob is super young and he's doing the C license with us.
Yeah.
So
When did you take the D?
I took the D license about a little over a year ago now. Yeah, I did it actually probably closer to 2 years now, because it was when I was on my gap year. So I think I was 18, 19. Yeah.
You're gonna get your A way before us.
I mean, the plan is hopefully to get my A license by the time I'm 25, 26.
Good.
What is your goal as a coach?
I mean, clubs is great. I want to try to progress past that. I'd like to coach at the collegiate level. I'm still in school right now, so I need to get my bachelor's degree first and maybe even a master's. But I want to coach collegiately. I want to see if maybe I can even progress past that. But I want to keep my options open. So maybe get my master's in case I can open up to the idea of being an athletic director at a school. But yeah, somewhere higher, a little bit higher up than where I'm at currently.
I really wish I'd never quit playing when I was younger. And I think part of it was soccer didn't have nearly the exposure back, we're talking probably early 90s, as it does now. It's just all over the place. And I mean, we can get off topic about how kids don't watch soccer when there's just so much availability for it now, which is super frustrating for us as coaches, because I know in your country they can't get enough of it, right?
Enough of what, sorry?
I mean, so if you tell, in America with the club, the kids you're coaching at club, you say, hey, you guys pick a team, be passionate about them, follow them, watch them on the weekends, tell me what you think. They're like, oh, coach, I don't really watch soccer. I just play soccer. So how's that make you feel?
I mean, it is so different in Argentina. We say that in Argentina, the kid before walk, he's playing soccer or she's playing soccer. And here is completely different. So what we were talking last night with the instructor was why United States cannot have a great national team that maybe wins World Cup or is like on the finals. And my theory is, and this can be right or wrong, but it's just a theory, is that soccer is not very famous here, and also parents want the kids doing different sports until they are 14, 15. So they are playing during the winter, they are playing basketball, during the spring, they are playing maybe baseball, during the summer, they are playing lacrosse, and during the fall, they are playing soccer. And I think that's a big difference with countries in Europe or South America, where they are playing since they are 3 years old, just soccer, the whole year, the whole time, in the street, in a club, with the friends, in the beach. Like, that has to make a difference somehow. And I think now we can see how soccer is growing here in America, and hopefully the next generations are just playing soccer. I think it is very easy to fall in love with this sport. So I think this community is gonna get there.
Do you think we'll be able to win the World Cup? I mean, you. How was? Let's talk about Argentina winning the World Cup. How was that for you?
The day that Messi hold that cup, that was the most happy day for me in my life.
Yeah.
It was amazing seeing the guy that have won everything, but no, the one thing that he wanted the most, and he didn't give up. Great message to those are struggling to get something, are trying, even though they are the best in the history or the whatever you wanna put it. He kept trying. And 10 years ago, people in Argentina will be super hard with him. Messi plays for Barcelona, but doesn't play for Argentina. When he plays with the red and blue, he's a different player. Arguing with people that you say, what are you talking about?
So you didn't feel this way as an Argentinian?
At all.
No.
I 100% supported him the whole time. As many Argentinian people, but you have always those maybe 10%, 50%, maybe 20% that will be so hard on him. And actually, he quit once.
Yeah,
he didn't want to play anymore after losing the third final. So they lost World Cup 2014, final against Germany. 2015, American Cup. 2016, American Cup against Chile, and then he decided to stop playing for Argentina. Good thing that he regretted and he started playing again. And I think that's a great message. Like, don't give up.
What do you think got the team over the hump? What do you think made the difference this time for Argentina?
If I have to tell you that 1 year before the World Cup, I knew that we were winning it. I am.
You felt that?
I felt it because the connection between the players was crazy. Like you could see that they were so connected, so smooth, the way that they were playing, and it is super difficult to get that. Who got that? The Bulls with Michael Jordan. They were playing that level. Maybe the Warriors connected all the time, and when you get that stage in your team, they are going to be probably unstoppable. Probably.
Yeah. A good culture can make a big difference.
Okay, I hate to ask you this, but so how did you feel after the Saudi Arabia game?
Which one?
The first game of the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
So that was at 2:30 in the morning. Of course, I didn't sleep that night after that game. I felt terrible, super sad. And I won't lie you, I was like kind of hopeless. I was like, is this happening again? And it hurt more than other times because this was probably the last World Cup from Messi. So if he didn't get it this time, that was it. So it was painful. And watching the Mexico game, I was so nervous. Like, I suffered a lot. And that was the goal that I yelled the most and celebrate the most in my life. Messi's goal against Mexico. That goal, I was in tears for sure, crying of happiness. And also because who scored it?
Messi.
Yeah. So, hey, it was crazy. Honestly, it was... I cannot explain it. A happiness like...
I think a lot of people were rooting for Argentina this year.
I agree. People that love the game, for sure. Those were supporting, I think, Messi first, and then the national team that he was representing. But I have heard a lot of things that, hey, I want Messi to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
And I wanted to. Argentina was in a second level for me. I wanted him to win it. So it's difficult to explain. I don't know. It's not very rational because for me, my national team is always first. But I just love him with my whole life.
So if I asked you Messi or Ronaldo, you would say Messi.
I will, yeah, because I think there is no discussion on who is the best player between Messi and Ronaldo. But I am very respectful with the people that think different. Ronaldo sucks, but just kidding.
We want to go around and say our favorite teams and players. Obviously, Argentina and Messi for you. Who are you a fan of, Roger?
I support Chelsea in the EPL. They've had a really rough go of it this last year. But historically, I'm a big Frank Lampard fan. I love Mason Mount as a player, but we just sold him to Manchester United, so I'm pretty devastated about that. That's really going to hurt us. So.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
They kept talking about it, but I was like, there's no way they're going to actually do this. But they did, and it's a big mistake.
I agree. I think Mount's just going to help United, and it's going to hurt Chelsea more. But personally, I grew up as a Liverpool fan. Watching Fernando Torres at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa kind of is what sealed it for me. He's the reason I fell in love with the game, and Casillas was the reason I fell in love with goalkeeping. So I guess I'm also a fan of just Spanish football.
Casillas isn't a very big player either, right?
He was about 6 foot. So even then, I guess it's undersized for a professional goalkeeper. But I loved his playing style. It was what I looked up to.
That team was stacked. The 2010 World Cup team.
That Spanish team.
Yeah.
Let me say that was Barcelona's playing there with a couple of players from Real Madrid. But I mean, the structure, like the main structure was the Barcelona's team.
The style.
Yeah.
Yeah, Puyol was on that team, right?
Legend.
Yeah.
I think it was basically just Barcelona with Casillas, Sergio Ramos, and Fernando Torres.
Fantastic. What a run. Was it from like 2008 to 2012? They won like 2 Europeans in the World Cup. Amazing.
And then they haven't found a forward since.
Why Champions League?
Oh, for Barca. Yeah. You're a Barca fan? Obviously.
I am fan of the teams that represented me. Like Barca's in that
Messi.
moment, they represented me.
Yeah.
Or the way that I see soccer. But I am not a Barca fan. I am a Messi fan. No, no, but
Are you gonna go see him when he comes over?
so that's one of my dreams too, to see him, to be able. I haven't done it, and I didn't have the chance to see in the national team either. So I am looking forward to the American Cup next year and for the World Cup couple years after that.
But I mean, when he comes to Miami and he plays in the MLS.
I think it's going to be tough because we are in the West Coast here. Miami plays with the East Coast Confederation, so they are not going to come this way. The timing is going to be tough with my job and everything, so I may just wait for the American Cup next year, and then I am going to go to every single game for sure.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's almost, we have to go, unfortunately. I just want to say thank you. It's been an honor to have you on the podcast and a pleasure working and learning with you guys the last couple of days. I know tomorrow's our last day. Anything you guys want to leave us with?
I just want to say, like, I've had such a great experience here in Ojai, California. Like, I was a little bit like, oh, I got to go out of town for 4 days and do this. But, like, honestly, you guys have all become friends to me. And there's tons of, like, 24 people in our class. And, like, I feel friendly with all of them. So it's been a great experience. And if anybody's thinking about getting their C license, I highly recommend going through Cal South Soccer.
For me, it has been like a great experience as well. And to put like people in context, we are part of a group that the instructor picked randomly. So we didn't choose each other. The ages are different, the personalities are different, but okay, the first day I was like, okay, Jacob, Roger, Patrick, who are these guys? But I found like great people, and I really, really enjoyed working with you guys, and I think we are a great team. We did great things in these three days, and we got a 9.
We got a 9.
Yeah.
The 9 club.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to say how grateful I am to be here as well. I feel like I'm learning not just from my instructors, but from everyone else here. Everyone here has had all different kinds of experiences, coaching at different levels, playing at different levels. And I guess as somebody who's relatively new to this, being able to be in this kind of environment, I feel just very grateful. And I'm excited to see where all of you go in the future. And I hope to stay in touch with all of you because I feel I'm very, very grateful to have gotten to know each and every one of you.
All right. Well, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on the podcast on the Young Athletic, and look out for more episodes to come. Thank you guys.